Hello everyone, my name is Matt Broderick. I'm the guy who runs the shaving blog whyiwetshave.com, and I also do a yearly meet up here in Seattle, Washington, the Seattle Shave Con. Obviously I like shaving. I like all the gadgets and gadgets and the stuff and the methods and helping people out. It's a lot of fun to me. One aspect which I haven't gone into all that much with people, which I really enjoy, is doing all the things yourself, whether that be making things or finding old things and fixing them up, anything like that. So all the DIY aspect of it. I'm going to be start to do, let's see, more articles and a couple of video, obviously, for all this kind of stuff, and hopefully I could show some people how easy a whole bunch of it is. Hopefully people can also give me some hints and tips. I don't know everything I've learned from other people, or from taking something from, let's see, out of some other hobby, and something like that, and see if it'll work here. Most all the things I have are all things which you get at your local supermarket, maybe your Home Depot, something like that, and I get stuff off of Amazon.com sometimes because it's so easy, and I have free shipping, and I'm lazy. I hope you guys like what I'm trying to do here. Give me some feedback, good, bad, in between. Don't be a dick, but besides that, it's all good. Enjoy, and I hope to see more of you soon. Thank you very much. Bye. Before we get going, I want to show you what I work with to do all my projects. Why? Because I don't got much. I don't got a lot of room. I don't got much for fancy anything, tools. Most of my stuff is all bargain basement stuff, or stuff which I've repurposed and all that kind of stuff. So let me show you my little workroom, and if I can do it in this, then you could do it as well. Alright, first off, I do not have a garage. I have a carport, and it has a car in it, so guess what? Not a lot of room. This is my furnace room, utility room, whatever you want to call it. I have shelves for all my handyman projects, other odds and ends, broken things that need to be fixed, canning salsa, everything else. And this is where I do 99% of all my work. So if I could do all my work here, then you can do everything else. And I sometimes get to listen to my washer and dryer beating things up behind me. So hey, if I can do it, you can do it too. Alright, so you just got a little shot of my place, what I have to work with, where I work. It's not fancy, you don't need a lot. If you have something better, if you're already a hobbyist and something else, especially for anything with fine details, models, war figure painting, anything like that, you probably have a much more detailed setup, much more clean and organized than I do. That'll work fine too. If not, make it work. Set something up when you're done. I'm gonna toss a sheet on it, something like that. There's lots of ways to get it done. Hope to be seeing a lot of you. Hope to be showing you what I do, how I do it, and getting feedback for ideas of how I can do it better. I don't know everything by any shake of a stick. Everything I've learned, I've seen someone mention it, or I've seen someone else doing it, or something like that, or I've got lucky, and I'm okay. I'm not great. Hopefully you can learn something, and I can learn something too as time goes on. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon. Alright, we're back. A little bit of angle here because I'm going to angle the camera down, hopefully get a little overview angle so you can see what's going on. Today's project is going to be a Fat Boy, in case with a broken hinge, but Fat Boy is pretty gunked up. We'll get a better shot. We're going to show you another way to get it clean with household everyday items, and maybe one step above, but nothing special by any means. Something which you could pick up at Walmart 9 times out of 10, if not anything else locally. So let me get this adjusted, and I'll show you how and why I do what I do to clean up something like this. It's an adjustable, so there's more nooks and crannies. So let's get to it. Alright, you could still hear me. So, here's our project. We could look at cleaning up plastic later, possibly. We're gonna take a peek at that. Not horrible by any means. I've seen worse, but dirty. Still has the paint. Let's see. Listen. Still clicks fine. Operates smoothly. Got the bottom. Now, one thing of note, which it's not the end of the world, but I don't like to see, let me get a toothpick here, is these bits of green. Quite often, this is almost a wax, which has been made with oils and soap scum. It sits there for a long period of time. When you clean that off, not always by any means, but quite often, you'll find you have some plating issues underneath that. As you can see, it goes all the way on the black ring, and it speckles throughout everything else. This has been untouched. There's still some hair in here even. I mean, it's what date code D3. I want to say that's D is 68, third quarter, off the top of my head. Before I wrap this up, I'll find out for sure and look at my notes and put it with everything else. So, first things first. First thing I do is scrubbing bubbles. Doesn't have to be mega foaming or nothing like that. Just make sure he doesn't have anything which says Clorox on it. Clorox is a chloride, obviously. It's bad for metals. It'll make things etch, everything bad like that. So, what I do, put it in here, get a little Tupperware. You will get a collection of these if you do any kind of cleaning after a while. I'll put it on spray and douse it down. Get the foam. Should probably get a smaller thing and let it soak a little bit more, but hit it like that. Let it sit. Let the chemicals do its job. Make your life easier. They will, there we go. What we're going to use to clean afterwards and during, basic toothbrush. Toothpicks. See, told you, basic stuff. And sometimes I like to use a kebab, which you use for meat and vegetables and whatnot. It's a little stiffer. You can make this end kind of frayed, make it a kind of a scrubby brush in and of itself. If things are really tough, well, a ways back I got a set of 3 brushes, which people use if you want to clean guns. There's a soft nylon, a hard nylon, and then a brass. I have the hard nylon here at the moment. The other 2 have wandered off somewhere, but I don't have any problem using this as well. The DMC brass ones, let's see, if your finish is already kind of shot and you need to get it clean so you can see what's there, then you do what you got to do. It shouldn't hurt your finish, but if your plating is not tightly bonded, then it could make it come off. These are old. You never know what's going to happen. Alright, so it's been sitting there a little bit. I usually let it sit longer, and you give it a scrub. You're not trying for perfection. This is not for polish. This is not for show. This is just mechanical agitation to help the chemical work. I'll show you one more tool I use sometimes as well, which I forgot, which is handy for the inside the lifter plate. Then I'll close it, exposes a little more new areas underneath as well. Loosen it up again, spray it some more. Scrubbing bubbles, about $4 or $5 a bottle, get it on sale, not the end of the world. You can tell it's already a little cleaner, a little shine.
this wasn't scummed up too bad. I've seen some really horrible examples. So another thing, which I found in my local Wally World, because, well, I don't like to shop there for things that I use a whole lot, or which I wear because it's usually too damn cheap. In the craft aisle and whatnot, if you need cheap for something like this, if you get a pipe cleaner, it's one in the craft aisle, something like that, you get a bag for a couple bucks, bend it real quick, and then you see the lifting plate there. You could work that in there, and there we go. You see that? You just work that back and forth, both sides, and you could do a dozen of these with each of these pipe cleaners if you want, and if you don't, it's not a big deal. If you're cleaning straight razors, and you're not popping the pins, it's a nice way to get down by the wedge and up by the pivot as well. Get some polish on there and you can work off most anything. So yeah, go in there, spray some in there. Don't be shy, let the chemicals do its work, and we'll let this sit for a minute, do a time lapse, and go from there. See you back in a few. Alright, we've come back. Take things, scrub it again. Just work it. It's a toothbrush. If you sit there and grind on it, you're not going to get much more out of it than just going over it loosely. It's not meant for hard abrasion, not for hard mechanical agitation, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I'm sure there's a term. I don't know what it is. I don't really care. Alright. So, alright, pop this back a little bit. You'll see one of my other high-tech tools over here. This is my empty coffee can full of water. If you wanted to, you could throw some soap in the water and just let it sit there for a couple days, and that alone will make a huge difference. Alright, so let's see how much of an improvement we have. Alright, it's not bad. Looking better. Cleaned up pretty good. Get to the handle of this damn thing. So, that's the first step. Easy cleaning. Alright, if the green's there or not, what I do next, take our toothpick, work it up and down. Let's see if I can bring this up here. Each of these lines here. Sometimes you'll have a waxy, almost a clear substance of soap scum, which the Scrubby and Bubbles, it's a gentle cleaner. It doesn't break through all that. It probably would over time, but it don't always have a lot of time. And Scrubby and Bubbles, even if you let it work on your metal long enough, it can discolor if it finds a flaw, let's see, in your finish. It could work on the base metal. It could cause separation. There's lots of little bits like that. So I usually go through all my grooves I can and do all this kind of thing. And it's not perfect, but sometimes it makes a huge difference. Let's see, another good spot to check. It's right back in here a lot. Little bits of goobers. That's looking alright. So we'll shake that off. Alright, so I'm going to take my stiff nylon brush I don't have any qualms using this on this. If this knocks off any finish, then the finish was poorly adhered as it was and was going to come off anyways. So now I do lubricate it with some water because, you know, why tempt fate for bad things. You may hear some thumps and some squeals from my kids upstairs during this. I apologize, but that is the life of anyone who has children. I have twin boys. They're 4.5 years old, all energy, all motion, no stop, no listen. It's all good. Love them to death, but it is what it is. Alright, so better. What I'm going to do now, since we've broken everything up and the scrubbing bubbles will be able to penetrate more, we're going to hit it again. Alright. Why not, right? Alright. See you back in a few. You could watch the magic or something. One thing which I will point out, when you're using your toothpick, you're going over your lines, your numbers on dials or something like that, which has paint, don't go sticking your toothpick in there and rubbing and digging around. Chances are you're going to dig out the paint. And repainting them can be a pain in the butt. And if you want to keep it original, blah, 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 blah. Bad stuff. If it happens, not the end of the world. You can get through it or you can keep it the way it is. But, no good. So, back in a few. Alright, we're back. We've been soaking. Did a little more scrubbing with my toothbrush. Gonna give it a good rinse. Alright, here we go. So our green issues, you can tell in this crap light, gotten much, much better. And the little bit of checkering and the knurling, you can see a little bit here and there. It's not worth hitting it with a brass brush for me right now. For some of you, it may be. There's other steps we could take first. Number one, if you want, you could sit there for a while and just kind of keep working it around and around and around and around. Probably dip it in some scrubbing bubbles. Work it around and around and around and around. Hit some polish. I use Blue Magic Metal Polish. I get it on Amazon. It's cheap. As far as I can tell, it's actually non-abrasive. It is an ammonia base. Kind of stinks, but it works, and you can buy a ton of it. Get some rags and just start rubbing. It'll actually pull contaminants. It's out of the surface level of your metal, and the ammonia in there will actually break down some dirt and crud. I'm not going to do this right now, but good option. I bought a ton of this. If you look on Amazon, it's there. It might be at your local auto store, or I don't know. Give it a look. If you want a more expensive version, which actually smells a bit better, there's something called Moss, M-A-S-S. It's purple. It's in a silver tube. Kind of a metal tube. More expensive. For what I could tell, it almost does the exact same thing, but Moss is more expensive. So yeah, whatever. So another option which we can do, and I like to do, especially because if I want to clean inside without pulling this apart, which we'll get to at some point, but is I have a little ultrasonic cleaner which my wife got years back for jewelry, and we were Christmas shopping or something like that, or after Christmas with all the specials and all the sales, and it was on clearance, so I picked one up for like 15-20 bucks. And while I still will do our wedding rings once in a while, I kind of stole it out of the closet and I use it. So let's go look at that. Alright, so ultrasonic cleaner, very, very basic, by Brookstone. You see their stores in the mall sometimes for the high-end stupid gadgets. I cleaned it out. There's a stain there, but you know. So, for ultrasonic cleaners, what's usually recommended is you get hot water. You don't need boiling hot, it's not going to help any. But heat breaks down dirt. That's why dishwashers are hot. And it kind of works. Throw it up there. Let's see. I have some of the jewelry cleaner stuff, Turbo, Sonic, whatnot. But I'll only do that if I just want to make it pretty. If I'm still trying to clean, I usually put a couple drops of soap in there, which of course I can't find right now, and I'll be right back. Alright, so we've done 2 cycles. I mean, it doesn't look bad by any shake of a stick. Not that it was horrible in the first place. Alright, we start looking down here in the knurling for the knob. A little bit of green verdigris, I guess you might call it. Go down here. Some of the grooving, you could see a touch of brassing. But hey, that's kind of what happens when you start dicking around with something like this. Remember I talked about the paint earlier? Well, one of the things that could happen when you mix heat and ultrasonics or long soaks in water is you lose the paint in your numbers. So, surprise, you can repaint these. It's not the end of the world. It's more work, it's not original, but if anything's gone through a long ultrasonic bath, then or an extended soak, if it's frozen up, then chances are the paint in the numbers was lost. The paint on the spring, the red, that's still on there. It's not actually paint. I believe it's an anodized process. So it's actually like a top layer of the actual metal itself, not just some paint slapped on. So, go back over to our handy dandy super bucket, give it a rinse, and then I usually let it dry. That's clean.
I want to apologize at that cutoff there. My camera suddenly told me my memory card is full, and that was that. So, this has been sitting there overnight. Get a little better light as well. We'll try to get up as close as we can here. Maybe we get a before and after pic by the time we get this up, but looks pretty good. We haven't done any kind of polish or anything like that. Surface finish overall is pretty nice. We did lose the paint on the numbers and the paint on the ring, which you can kind of see there sometimes. Not the end of the world, but it's not quite as nice as if we would not have. Probably didn't have to do the ultrasonic soak, but something which I think is a very good tool you can pick up pretty cheap. This is nice, this is clean, this is good. Hope everyone got something out of this. I know the video quality is not the best, but we'll get better as we go on. Improve the lighting, orientation. I just realized as I was doing some editing, I was holding things upside down to you for reading, and which was straight for me. So it's all fun, it's all good. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, if you leave a comment, if you see this on the blog or on YouTube or anything like that, I will get back to you. This is what I do for fun and my hobby. I'll enjoy getting back to you. If you got any hints or tips, please let me know. Like I said, don't know it all, but I enjoy it all. Take care. This is Matt Broderick from YA Wet Shave, and hope to see you again soon.